Welcome, everyone, to another session of Flames of the Divine. Talos, would you care to go over what happened last session?
In brief summary, after the big 3-night battle in with regards to the the Black Knight, or having a hard time remembering terminology, but anyway. After that, CeeLo was able to spy that Ladon was getting help from what seems to be a nearby Drow tribe or clan or what have you. And
your mic.
Wait, we can hear the music from your microphone.
Yeah, I just realized.
Alright, well, as I was saying. And a handful of us decided to take a hunting party and split off to intervene, to intercept the little flying message to prevent Ladon from getting his reinforcements. Unfortunately, though, one thing led to another. I ended up pushing a rock, and now we seem to be in a whole heap of trouble.
Yeah. That is about the sum of it. So, you and Gregor are basically standing at the doorway at this point, correct?
Yeah, last I remember that there were like some things inside just like looking up at us.
Yeah,
as we
just
opened
as the boulder rolls in and you peer inside, and well, immediately you see two dark-skinned, two elves with ash gray skin and red eye, as just staring at the new opening in disbelief. And then Heaven, you says as Badger, or well, your placement there is code for "you're still outside."
Okay.
Hello there, gentlemen.
And like one of the and says, who are you?
Terribly sorry for breaking in like this. In truth,
we're just traveling performers, and we were looking for a place to camp for the night, and we thought this cave was empty. Our sincere
the drow glances over your shoulder at the midday sun. By the way, in addition to these two, you see two very confused looking bugbears off to the side.
Yes, well.
Yes, we certainly weren't expecting anyone to be down here.
And we prefer to find a camp early so that we have time to do some hunting.
Well, then you can turn around and go back. I can find some other spot because this is our cave.
I'm entirely fine with being amicable about that. Actually, strange question, if you don't mind, before we go. We were tracking a fairly medium-sized bird for some dinner tonight. Did you happen to see it?
Hold on. Let me pull some dice real quick. Hey, hey, medium-sized bird? No, can't say I've seen one lately.
It's just that we were tracking it and it seemed to have dived down here, and well, for the life of us, we can't find its body.
Eh, 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 eh. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I haven't seen any birds. Like,
Well,
hey,
all
oh,
right,
by the
so
way, you all may roll insight at anything he says if you wish.
if I could, please.
All right, I gotta pull up his sheet. Give me a moment. That is a 3 on the die. So,
Wow.
uh, you don't need to worry. You all pass. Yeah, uh, 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 like as he's like, so as this drow just keeps like talking and like he's just making to shoo you off. No, he hasn't seen any birds. One of the bugbears actually speaks up. Well, there was that paper bird that flew here a few minutes ago,
Paper bird.
and like the drow's head just you hear stone grinding as he just swivels his head to look at the guy who spoke up.
So it was a paper bird we were chasing.
Where did you say it was?
It flew in here, and it flew in here. The boss took it. Like it occurred. And like that's as far as he gets before like the dark elf just it jumps over and just like cups his hand over the bugbear's mouth. Hey, ignore what he says. We haven't seen any paper birds here. You don't need to roll insight. He's clearly lying.
Your friend seems unusually candid about it.
Oh, he just has a vivid imagination and doesn't know when to stop talking.
So what exactly was on it? If it was some sort of paper bird, like a treasure map, some sort of location to a long lost legacy.
I don't think we're gonna get any more out of that guy. Gregor whispers to Talos.
And,
Thomas just kind of shrugs.
and yeah. By the way, as, as this is all going on, do you think we could all roll perception real fast? So, Gregor, you're the only one who notices this. Like, as they're trying to just like a talk, can basically just keep you just talking. You notice down to the bottom right, lower right of the map, another drow is just sneaking around on the wall as if he's trying to slip away. Will the rest have you distracted?
Hey, what are you doing down there? Gregor
Stop.
calls out.
And stops. I'm like he just like he face palms for a moment and then looks at you. And ooh, ooh, just and then looks at Talos and Talos. Gregor, since you're the only one who's really got a good look at him right now, roll insight real fast. and ooh, just enough. Yeah, as he looks to he looks to your or right, sees Talos, and his eyes widen just a bit. Oh shit. It's uh, I'm just coming out to see what all this commotion is.
Gregor whispers to Talos, I saw him sneaking around back there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so who are you and why are you breaking into my cave? Like he just like strides forward as like acting like he intended not to hide at all this entire time.
Well, we didn't mean to break in here. It's not like there's a doormat.
No,
Well,
well, no, but there was a door.
that giant boulder was the door. Gods, you guys must be very, very strong to move that thing.
You may notice we have two bugbears with us. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Talos looks to Heaven and Gregor, and he just whispers, "Shall we cut the theatrics and just be honest with them?"
I don't know. Do you think these guys might be with Leon?
It's entirely possible if he was trying to sneak away. Plus, well, we got mention of one of them. Well, one of them apparently seeing the thing and taking it.
Yeah. By the way, roll I'm gonna call this a stealth roll, but based on charisma instead of dexterity, because I assume you're trying to keep voices low here.
Yeah.
So, what?
Do you
Just
roll
Just,
charisma?
I mean, if you're not, are any of you proficient in stealth?
No.
no.
Heaven?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, then all you just roll charisma.
All right, just straight charisma. All right.
Charisma check,
Oh. Well,
Gregor.
yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Do I roll again or?
It should be about the same bonus, shouldn't it?
No, no clerics are proficient in charisma saves, so
Oh, I had no
Okay,
idea.
I
that's
got the same roll
wisdom.
anyway. Shit. What?
Honestly, well, there you go.
Why were they all high?
And yeah. So
Sorry
yeah,
about that.
okay. You all. So in any case, you all managed to be subtle enough about that they don't hear you. So go on.
These guys are clearly hiding something.
Obviously, and it should be.
Yeah.
And it's
By the way,
a mess.
so as this grouse steps closer, like he's and he's got a rather a fairly expensive looking outfit on, like black fabric with a lot of gold decorations.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I take it from your attire, sir, that you are the boss that your bugbear friend mentioned.
And that would be I. Do you wish to? Now, still haven't properly heard what you want.
He looks to Gregor and Heaven again. It's like, well, we can at least try a diplomatic solution. Be honest with it, and tell them that we have a vested interest, that we don't intend to hurt them.
Yeah, but then what? Because they seem like they might want to hurt us.
Can
If
I
they
roll
are.
insight? Can I roll insight based on that comment?
Sure.
Why did my roll suck tonight?
And having you know drow are evil and they serve Vienna. Of course they want to hurt you.
The longer we stall on the reason why we're here, the longer they're going to just attack. So we might as well try and open up communications.
Should we lie some more?
Look, I'm all tapped out of life, so I don't know where to begin.
If only Scylla was there.
Yeah, if only she were here.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a bard and I can't think of squats.
Yeah. Oh,
Eh.
by the way, hey, so one other thing that well, all three of you actually, no, Heaven, you don't get to. And Gregor hasn't met any yet. So Talos, go ahead and roll me a quick intelligence check, please. It's not going to be high, just it's not going to be hard, just 10 or higher. Literally the same instant I said that.
I have an idea, actually.
Yeah, because
Well,
hey, yeah. I'm sorry. Like Heaven failed the insight check earlier, so she doesn't get to realize this, and well, I guess Talos just hasn't really thought of it, and Gregor hasn't met that NPC. Gregor hasn't met that NPC, so he doesn't know.
Well, I have an idea.
well,
For,
one's better than nothing. Go for it.
we didn't. It seems like none of us had a way of knowing about Matron Kalena until CeeLo, like, snooped it out, I guess. Maybe we could get some cred if we mention her?
Well,
I don't. It's something.
Talos just pats you on the back. It's like, all right, well, go for it.
Are you guys with Matron Kalena?
So he rolled a 3, so he's not even going to try and hide it. Then you must have recognized my clothes. Then you do have some idea what you're dealing with, and like he's suddenly taking a much more threatening tone.
Evan rubs the bridge of her nose. I think we should have just walked out.
Yeah. By the way, all of you roll insight on something real quick.
Well, we already know that what we're looking for is in here, so.
And my roll still sucks.
Yeah. So, yeah, Heaven, like Heaven, yeah, you're still blinded by the Drow hate boner. Talos and
wait, what did you just say?
Still blinded by the Drow hate boner. Keep up. Talos and Gregor, you get the sense from the way he said it, he actually expects you to know that you would actually recognize them as the name. Like he seems to think that you know her because as you recognize as his clothes.
So I take it if we don't walk out within the next minute or so, you'll likely draw swords against us.
And oh, that is absolutely what we will all do. Go ahead and roll insight.
Again?
Just Talos. see, he's acting all cocky. You also notice that he is inching towards the little, this little alcove here as he talks, like he's getting ready to bolt.
Interesting you say that, yet you seem like you're prepping yourself to run away. What's the matter? Scared? Scared of a lion?
It like gives you a very flat look. You think I don't know a Leonin warrior when I see one? And a fireman warrior at that? No, thank you.
That obvious,
Well,
is it?
well, maybe we can come to an agreement. You know, we don't have to fight.
Well, what is it you want then?
He looks at Gregor and is like, so, the truth now?
Yeah, I mean, seems it's about time for that.
Well, you want the long version or the short version?
And go with the long version. I'm willing to be entertained. Like, roll insight again.
Oh, all of us are just
He's
tell
got-
us.
Yeah.
This guy is rolling so badly on his deception checks. Yeah, so he is clearly stalling for time. Like you, and trying to and think of a way to just get out of this.
No, I think I'll go for a more summary than anything. Makes it so we don't spend too much time here.
Very well.
So we heard. Well, no doubt you've heard of. Well, if you've heard of my pride, then you've heard of the casualties that have been happening across the entire valley after the 3 days of nothing but black sun.
And oh yeah, oh yes. I saw a bunch of black rat eggs fly overhead at one point. Give off an awful screech.
Yes, well, I only have one of those to thank for what's happened to my brother. But regardless, so let's get.
Oh no! Go on.
But regardless, so let's just say an opposing force that opposes my pride has seemed to have gotten a interesting idea in their heads and sent a message ahead.
Have they now?
Mm-hmm. And well, what's interesting is that we were thinking of it was that from our understanding, the leader of said opposing force requested only a squadron of fighters and not a whole army.
And well, that's a very odd tactical choice if he did take many losses.
Yes, but well, this man is very powerful in his own right, and if he's only requesting a handful of people from your matron, then well, let's just say we're not going to take any chances. Now look, we don't intend to fight, we don't intend to spill blood, but you can understand the safety for both my pride and your pride. Because if this man has his way, then there will be losses on both ends.
And oh, that's
And whatever promise or pact he has lording over your matron, well, I'm sure it's not worth sacrificing our best warriors.
and oh, you don't know Kalena at all if you think she thinks like that. But he's gonna roll. Yeah. I mean, not sure Well, but in any case, so what precisely is it you want us to do here?
Well, simple, really. We are requesting that you hand over the missive that was sent your way, that one of your associates was so kind enough to point out that you seem to have received. And in turn, well, I'm willing to bring up the possibility of peace negotiations with my own matron.
What peace peace negotiations? We're not. And you didn't even know, and you didn't even know we were here until what, 15 minutes ago? It's not like we're at war.
Well, that is true. Peace negotiations is not exactly the right word. More of a cooperative endeavor. Perhaps
I
we
guess
can
it's,
trade.
you could think
Well-
of it as a preemptive peace negotiation.
Huh. Is that so? Because
This do
Go
not take
ahead.
that. Sorry. Do not take that as any sort of declaration. I merely mean to say that you know how life is out here in the valley. If we can better survive together and trade with one another, then better we should.
in, 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 well, uh, 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 my, go ahead and roll persuasion.
Just tell us.
Yeah, Talos. I see. Now, of course, a cooperative endeavor ever implies something going both ways. And there's a great deal my mistress is could offer your tribe, but I'm not entirely sure what your tribe could offer her.
Well,
Well, that
what do you
itself
want?
is. Well, aside from that, I would also say that in itself is a discussion to be had between our respective leaders. I believe.
In I in in he's gonna he's going to go ahead and roll. All right. He's gonna. I like. Like, I'm okay. To be clear, I'm paused out of character because I'm honestly not sure what he's gonna do with this. But okay. Well, I mean, well, while you're thinking it over, er, allow me to perhaps sweeten the pot on our end a little bit. And his just like that, his tone just changes again. It's again. My mistress knows a great deal about the undead, and I believe you mentioned that one of them did something to your brother.
Well, if you think, well, he's not turning by any means. He's merely lost a bit of his memory.
Well,
He was attacked by an undead, as far as if I remember correctly.
and memory loss cannot often hide something far worse. Are you quite sure about that?
Been keeping an eye on him for the pot. Well, we've been keeping an eye on him since it happened, and he has not seemed shown any signs of. Well, he has not shown any signs of worsening.
Really been improving either.
And well, if you want a professional opinion, my mistress would certainly be one to ask. And in addition, like actually, but again, I need something to take to her. If if I offer her, if you offer her a chance of negotiate, if you offer her simple negotiations without actually bringing something to the table, well, she's liable to reject that outright. Something something tangible of mine, nothing so ephemeral as better relations.
And to be fair, we did just waltz in here.
Talos thinks for a moment, and he asks, "Tell me, how many wounded and sick do you happen to have?"
Well, great, very many, well, a great, very many, at any given time. And Mars can be a rough town, but if you're referring to the Black Sun, well, the undead seem to ignore us, and I want you all to roll insight on that as well. So, yeah, you all notice this. He seems downright caught off guard by that question, and it looks like he looks like he's just cottoned onto something. And well, let's just say, all of a sudden he realizes something that you aren't aware of.
Talos steps forward for a moment. He reaches into his bag and pulls out a jar of the restorative ointment that was made for him. You see this, yes?
Yes.
This is a healing salve created by one of our most experienced alchemists, and it's very effective.
And go ahead and roll persuasion again. All right, so be all three of you, like, you just, and he actually motions these other two drow to just stand down. Be quite honest with me, you don't actually know who Kalena is, do you?
The truth of the matter is, my friend, we only heard her name recently. But if our enemy wishes to parley with her to the point of having only a few soldiers, well, suffice to say, such reputation, I'm sure, is well earned.
And you would not be wrong. Be wrong. Well, come along with me. I want to show you. I wish to show you something. Something that will help what I'm about to explain to you. Do you follow him?
Talos looks over and he says, keep everyone on guard.
Will do. I'm not sure why you're and like, she's just been totally lost about this. Like, she was expecting a fight just as well as you were. I'll grab you all and drag you over. And he leads you over there and motions to the alcove where you see a glowing large magical glyph basically carved into the ground. And I want all of you to roll Arcana. Heaven. So, motion. So, and he just motions at it. So, do you know what this is? It it is, and she is, and Talos. You've dimly heard of these, and Gregor, like, there's one in your temple. You recognize it right away. This is a teleportation circle, a permanent one carved into the cave floor.
Teleportation circle.
It's a
Yeah.
teleportation circle, but where does it go?
Far to the south. Yes. The first thing you need to realize is that my mistress doesn't actually live here.
I see. So
This is
this cave is-
literally, this is literally just,
an outpost of sorts.
yeah. She has contacts in this region, and not just Ladon.
How
Really?
far south are we talking about?
And you may know her, all the way south. Look, you may know. I'll try this. You may know her by another name. Does the Queen of the South Coasts mean anything to you? And Heaven, all of you go ahead and roll history. Heaven, roll with advantage because it's very likely you would know this one. Gregor and Heaven both got it. Talos, you have never been anywhere near there. Gregor and Heaven, you've heard of a famous pirate by that name.
Ah, yes, I've heard tales.
Same here.
Yes, that's her. I'm honestly surprised you did not make a connection.
Well, Talos kind of chuckles a little. In my defense, I have not been outside the valley, and I've only been to a handful of places.
So it would seem. Now, let us start again. And what do you have to offer her that would make any kind of quote unquote alliance worthwhile for her?
Well, aside from my offer of restorative ointments, I'm sure that if you're willing to be patient, I'm sure we could bring more to the table that could be of a more open offer.
Yes, you have to forgive us for we weren't exactly expecting to make a negotiation when we pushed over a rock.
And of course. But well, I can't promise you she'll be very. I can't promise you she'll be very receptive. If the matron, she how should I put this?
Prefers to have things her own way.
Well, that's just a drow matron being a drow matron. No,
Pirate.
Yeah, she's a pirate.
What do pirates like?
Booty.
No, you're not supposed to talk. I want you to be mad as mad as I am.
You're the one who decided to stay in camp, CeeLo.
You could do a text role play in the background.
Yeah. See, this is the real reason you don't split the party. It has nothing to do with putting your players in danger.
It's more the ones that stay behind are going to be bored shitless.
Yeah.
You say that, but you love to have Korax go off on his own little thing a lot.
But I do it for like 10 minutes at a time, tops.
Anyway,
well, listen. Perhaps if we could open communication between your matron and Talos's matron, or if we could just speak to the matron in general, if we could just speak to Talus's matron in general, we can probably figure something out, especially considering we want to especially considering this is peace between your group and Talus's pride.
I would point out again that we weren't exactly fighting each other to begin with.
I know, and I mean, and well, of course, as it's all become too obvious, we are concerned by what Ladon wants, and if we can stop him from getting what he wants, then all the better for us. But at the same,
Well,
but
I- I-
but
I-
sorry,
well, the fact of the matter is, I don't entirely know what he wants. And so, I mean, I did read the letter, and well, it just said to send a group. I think it's implied that the matron would know what that meant.
it's more than likely code because from my understanding, he mentions all debts will be repaid, right?
I I certainly wouldn't know anything about that.
Yes, but keep in mind, it's not simply him coming to her and sending some sort of death threat or claiming as such. It's nothing but a simple letter and him saying things will be resolved between them. Meaning whatever he's lording over her will effectively tie her hands.
And that's roll persuasion.
Would be nice to be would be nice to be free of Ladon, right?
That mentioning Ladon around her, mentioning her debt to Ladon around her is one way to get her very angry. I'll tell you that much. That might be something that might be of interest to her.
We certainly aren't on good terms with Ladon ourselves.
And if it's something that she herself clearly is frustrated with, then surely there is at least some merit to our two combined forces joining together to fight a common foe.
Well,
Of course, considering the nature of your own fellowship, I'm sure that it will be nothing more than a temporary alliance, as I'm sure you would not want to be tied down out here in the middle of, well, the literal valley of life and death.
Oh, well, as I mentioned, she does have other contacts here. I can't imagine, and she'd object to adding a Leonin tribe to you. But you say temporary. Like motions at the teleportation circle. A permanent teleportation circle, a stone's throw away from your own camp, and you don't see the benefits of a more permanent arrangement.
Well,
do you really want to be like an enemy of the Leonin, though?
But no, that is the exact opposite of what I'm saying. It's and you say temporary arrangements. There is, and there is every reason for you to want something more permanent.
And that I do agree with. You'll have to explain.
I misunderstood
Yeah.
misunderstood something.
Right.
You'll have to excuse me, my friend. I'm not much of a negotiator. I'm merely opening up the possibility of negotiation. My own matron is more of a talker than I am.
Well, that is the way of matrons, is it not? But
we are merely warriors doing what we do best.
Hey, Sure, sure. In any case, it, it's I can make you absolutely no promises, but you have you eh, you have made an offer that she would be interested in.
Well, as you said, no, there are no promises, if but we must at least try. No.
Of course, of course.
It would certainly be great to have you on our side.
Hmm. It, it, I've heard a lot of government officials tell me that. Like he actually gets a somewhat wistful smile at that.
Well, the difference between us and the government is, well, we're not government officials. We are merely a tribe out here doing what we can to live life day by day.
Not being part of the government is a rather good selling point in your favor, I will admit.
Of course, I'm sure trading with us will be somewhat of an interesting endeavor, but we can we can leave the ironing out of details between our respective leaders.
Of course, of course.
So, the offer is on the table. Let's say, my friend.
And well, what I say is, we shall see. And my goodness, it's I did it's in all this talk. I realize we haven't even exchanged names.
Indeed, we haven't. Pray, please, may I ask your name first?
It, in of course, it's, it's pulling out name generator.
I can hear the clacking of the keyboard from here.
Nothing about this entire story arc has gone the way I expected.
That's the fun of D&D, That's the fun of D&D.
The most detourist,
the last two sessions.
the most detouriest of detours.
Yeah. Dinef. Just Dinef.
Dinef?
I'll post the spelling in chat.
Yeah.
No. And not R.
Dinef. Oh, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Dinef. Talos genuinely smiles and walks up to him and offers his hand. And I'm Talos. It is a pleasure.
Like, gives your hand gives his hand a decent shake.
Now then, with that sorted, can I trust that you will hold off on delivering Ladon's message, at least for a while, until well, proper talks can be sorted?
And I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid I can't do that. Don't get me wrong. I like your offer, but if the Matrix and found out I'd been withholding information, well,
Off with your
she
head,
would
I
quite
take
literally
it.
have me flayed alive.
I guess we'll have to hope that she likes our offer better than Ladon's.
Well, as Dineth here has said, the offer itself is interesting, and there is a possibility for something to flourish. But that is the way of it, isn't it?
Indeed.
Well, I hope we get to see you again, and hopefully not on the battlefield. Well, on opposite ends, that is.
Here's hoping, and he actually gives you sort of a half bow.
Talos does the same back, though, kind of being a lot more of a full bow.
Gregor also bows.
Yeah.
Now then, with that sorted, we should I should return back to my pride.
And Indeed. Do they know about this offer?
They?
Your pride?
No, it's just no. This was quite frankly just a spur of the moment offer. I'm sure. I'm sure my matron. I'm sure my matron will be just as surprised by the idea.
Yes.
But ever
Well,
to survive, you must be flexible.
indeed, but it does. Hold on a moment, and he like goes over to his desk, and grabs what looks to you like an ordinary piece of paper. Er, 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 can, you can never really assume this question and in this part of the world. Can your matron write?
Well, she can speak. Well, she can speak and write. Right. Well, she can speak common well enough. I know enough of the language that I can write.
Good enough. Write and write her formal offer on this, and he hands you over, and he just hands you a very clean-looking piece of paper. You may remember that paper bird from earlier.
So, similar magical aspects, I take it.
And yes, bring us her. Bring us her response. Like, send us as her. Send us any a formal offer she would wish to make.
Very well then. Can we trust that when we come back, you will be here?
Oh yes, this is my post.
Very well then, and I promise you, I'll move the rock back into position when we leave.
Excellent. Surprising to find such good manners in this place.
Well,
Should we knock? Should we knock next time so you know it's us?
Please do.
All right. Well then, by your leave, Deneth.
It was a pleasure negotiating with you.
Of course, of course.
Well then, let's be on our way. Good day. And I'd say we'll head on out now.
Yep.
Yeah, we should probably go check on the others.
Yeah, because this has been a rather long 10 minutes tops.
It's been at this point they've been gone for like an hour.
Yeah, it sure feels like an hour.
Hasn't the session been an hour so far?
Exactly.
Yeah, very sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. But in any case, while they're making their way back, Rudy and Silo. You are currently bearing witness to Malak carrying Agian hogtied over his shoulder, bringing him towards the docks.
So looks over to Leon and Agian and just softly snickers. Seems about accurate.
Like, oh, Agian is reacting exactly the respect. Oh, come on! I thought we were friends. This is outrageous. It's blah, 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 blah. And then Malak just basically just tosses him on and onto a boat more or less, and just lets him float down the river.
Oh wow! I guess I give it up waiting on the boat.
Yeah.
It's for the best.
You think you'll be okay in the long run?
It'll be an adventure. He'll love it.
And if the leeches murder me, I'm blaming you.
Well, I'm pretty sure word will go out that you're alive at least.
Right.
He's out of earshot at this point.
Did they really have to tie him up and leave him on a boat?
Yeah, like he was just tied. He was just bound head to toe.
He'll be fine.
Well, I believe in him, and I believe in you in that.
Um. You know, if they were
Something
going,
matter?
if they were going to go and do something with the bird once they caught it, they really should have said so. Rather than just going to get this bird and then coming back.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a quick trip. Don't worry about that.
In 3 hours later.
Well, I thought it was going to be a quick trip.
and yeah, and that's the point, and where the three of them, along with Caesar and the other Leonin, just get back onto the docks.
Eesh, what?
Well,
what
that
an
was a
endeavor.
lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, what an endeavor. We should check in with Vasila and Rudy first. God, goodness
We
knows
did
they
get
can only do. Goodness knows
we
they
did
can
get a
only
lot
do so
done.
much.
We did get a lot done though. I'm guessing Malak and Ajian aren't here right now.
No, that happened. You missed the show. You missed that show. Yeah.
Thank you.
He's gone, and he's back. And he's back in the tent at this point.
Would have been neat to be able to talk to some of Leonin, but most of them don't speak common.
Hello, everyone. You miss us?
You were
Oh, hey,
gone.
Talos.
You were gone 3 hours.
We got a little
Sorry about-
sidetracked.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, Rudy.
Did you catch the bird?
Not as much, but we actually found a interesting opportunity along the
We
way.
found some drow.
Yeah, we got something a little better than the bird.
I wouldn't call that better, depending on your situation.
You'd be surprised.
Simply put, we've opened up the possibility of turning Ladon's allies into our allies.
You managed to do that yourself.
Yeah, which is would probably explain where at least one of the hours went.
No, Lord. Well,
So I imagine you probably would have cut it down by at least half the time.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to do a bit of lying, and we're not that great at that.
oh, grand.
Yes, the perfect way to start up negotiations is with lies.
That is actually the truth to the degree, Rudy.
We did eventually switch to truth, and it actually went pretty well, by my recollection.
Well, negotiations is only available what we had to offer to them. What'd you offer them?
Freedom from Ladon.
Freedom.
Yes, because
And
it seems like whenever Ladon is brought up amongst the this matron that they have, she always seems to get very frustrated. So so it's very possible that he holds some sort of sway or debt over her head, and if we can and well, we merely offered the possibility that we could eliminate that for them.
So you want to go kill Leon now?
are we already going to
Well,
do that?
Not necessarily. We were just trying to avoid him.
well, the point well, killing him, I'm sure is somewhat of a foregone conclusion by this point, but having allies is not isn't having allies for the pride is never such a bad thing.
Could offer them
Plus,
trade too, so it's not always that bad.
plus, if they were to be our enemies, it wouldn't go very well because they have a teleportation circle like right next, like really close to the camp.
Well, not only that, but it seems as though the man who we were negotiating with was very terrified of the fact of fighting the pride.
Hmm. Still looks rather thoughtful at that. Yet he was going to send just a group of soldiers to fight us off.
It's more than possible that it was likely the matron's elite god that he was requesting.
Fair enough.
But we also raised the possibility between our contact that what's written on the piece of paper itself might actually be some form of code that only the matron may understand. A handful of soldiers may mean something such as undying bodies or some such. Since
Either
supposedly
way,
they are well versed in necromancy.
yes, they did also offer to help Malak since they claim that his memory loss could be the sign of something worse.
So, seems a little too good. But the tribe that doesn't offer much besides just trading goods, you guys don't have much on the table to offer to this person.
Well, I also offered the idea of providing restorative ointments, and as we said, the major crux of our argument was freeing them from whatever debt Ladon holds over them.
Hmm.
That's a pretty big deal because I'm pretty sure I don't think anyone likes Ladon.
That would form a temporary alliance, in my opinion, though.
That was
Again, they have
actually
a again they have a
Sorry.
permanent they have a permanent teleportation circle like right next to the camp. So a permanent negotiation is would be pretty favorable.
It would be, if that's the case. However, with the information that I have, just the fact that they alone are trying to get rid of Ladon's grasp over them. Once that's over, there's no reason to hold an alliance.
Indeed, that was something we ourselves said. Well, more I was meaning it in temporary alliance in the sense that they probably wouldn't want to be tied down to us. But following that, Dineth, the man that we were speaking to, he said that it is possible that something more permanent could be arranged. But we both ultimately decided on that was a negotiation to be had between our respective leaders.
Sure. I wouldn't be one to be responsible for negotiating that high. I don't even have the power for it.
He gave us a piece of paper for the matron to write on.
it'll basically do the same thing that Ladon's message didn't deliver.
Did you try offering gold?
Gold, I did not. No.
Rudy glances to CeeLo.
Is this why I do negotiations?
Yeah. Talus actually sort of like hangs his head and like slumps his shoulders.
Hey, Talus did great.
He did. You guys didn't go into bloodshed. That's the important point.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got pretty close, but we managed to talk our way out of it.
Probably saved myself another near-death experience too.
Well, we need to discuss with the matron. She needs to write. We basically have to make our offer, and then their matron will sort of weigh up Ladon's offer and our offer, and decide which one she likes better.
Okay, and now let's ask the next question. Who is this matron? Do we have any information on her?
She is a pirate.
And you didn't offer gold?
It wasn't something that came to mind, especially considering that we don't. Well, that my pride doesn't have much of it.
We're adventurers. We have gold.
Oh right, yeah.
Were we really going to have enough gold between between us to satisfy a pirate?
Well, go ahead and roll intelligence.
Me?
Ooh.
All of you, when he asked that question.
I can't at the moment. Roll 20 broke on me and I'll have to reset.
I did the save again.
You do what you gotta do. That doesn't matter for intelligence. So, Gregor, your sense of money is not all that strong. Silo in Heaven, what you have for any kind of long-term negotiation, no. Yeah, like, hey, now, Silo, this is something that would occur to you in particular. If Kalena can afford to carve a permanent teleportation circle in the middle of what is basically some random cave in the middle of the boonies, then she's probably very, very rich.
At least what we could offer would be a temporary solution, but no way near a forming alliance.
Evan
However, okay.
comes up with something. I do have an idea, but it's risky.
Oh, what's that?
You know, I heard stories that dragons hoard treasures, right?
Ah, so
You want to kill a dragon?
And
Well,
considering
not necessarily kill, but perhaps with the right negotiations.
so you reckon that if we offer enough gold to Ladon, it may satiate him?
I wasn't talking about Ladon.
Oh.
A
then
Wait, so
completely
let me-
different.
Wait, so let me give you. Go ahead.
A completely different dragon. No association with Ladon at all.
So
Okay,
wait,
what would they gain for us taking their treasure?
It'll depend on the dragon. I think the metallic dragons are more nobler than the chromatic ones.
hang on. Do you want to rob a dragon and give the gold to Kalena?
Not necessarily rob it if we can persuade them.
What do we have to offer a dragon?
Well, literally gold.
I thought we wanted gold.
Well, Heaven is proposing a solution of getting getting another dragon on our side instead of pirates.
There's an issue with that is we don't know what the dragon wants, if they want anything.
Well, another issue might be you also don't really know any other dragons.
I'm not even scraping that issue yet.
Well, regardless, they're all ideas that we could probably share with Matron Ziora. She, at the end of the day, is the one who needs to make the offer.
I hate to say it, Talus, but I don't think we can offer much.
I still think freedom from Ladon's a pretty good offer. I mean, again, I don't think anyone likes Ladon.
That's our only bargaining chip, and that's not much, to be honest, for a long-term negotiation. If you want to do a short-term, then yeah, that would be our perfect offer.
I think maybe that's our best course of action at this point, is a short-term alliance.
It was Deneth that wanted the permanent, not us. We were offering a temporary.
Still, though, yeah, I do honestly regret not bringing the both of you along. I think you certainly would have handled it a lot better than I did, CeeLo.
I wouldn't say that go that far, Talus. After all, I can't speak in your tribe's stead, so I couldn't even be like a negotiator.
An emissary.
Emissary is the right word.
Well, nothing for it now. The possibility is on the table, and Matron Ziora does need to give her word.
Very well, let's head over there.
All right, then. Let's go.
Let me have the paper.
All right, then. Talus passed it off to you without much thought.
Okay. Is there anything written on the paper, or is it just a blank sheet of paper?
It is just a blank sheet of paper.
Alright, so this is just meant to make the offer in the letter. Alrighty, well, let's head off.
So, you all head up to the matron's tent. Talos, you were gone a while. How was your hunt?
Certainly unexpected, I should say that much.
That is
found
not
some
what I wanted
trout.
to hear.
Well, please allow us to explain the situation. And I'd say for the sake of brevity, we explained everything that happened to her.
And just hard stares at you.
Oh no.
You go
I
out
admit,
you go out to intercept a message, and now you're bringing me a treaty offer with a pirate?
Pretty much, yeah.
in essence, yes, an opportunity to turn Ladon's allies into our allies.
What is this last few weeks?
Talus just kind of nervously shrugs. Sorry.
Listen, this has to be more favorable than than the drought turning against us, right?
And I can't. And
I mean, they have a teleportation circle like right next to it, well, pretty close to the camp.
and that is a sticking point. Yes.
Zilla clears her throat after the
Like
silence.
she for the first time for the first, like, you've been around Mistress ARA for most of your life, Talos, and for the this is the first time you've ever seen her where she genuinely does not know what to do here.
Talos looks to CeeLo as if, waiting for her input.
Ziora,
Yes.
now your tribe has been nearby the river, yes? That's how you made a lot of your exports and imports?
Yes.
How would you feel about actually having cut out the middleman and just make trade with the pirates instead?
There is attraction. There are some selling points to all this. This I will admit, and yet the question remains: what have we to offer them?
A tribe that doesn't rely on gold but relies on goods instead, versus possibly an army of people per se. Army of people that needs mouths to feed and gold to plunder. Which you have no gold, you do have in stock.
Like, she blinks.
It is true that
You talk like a merchant, little one.
it is a bit of my trade per se. There is more things valuable than just gold, even if it is to a pirate's eye. Perhaps
I will. And I do not know this, Helena. Wisdom is knowing what you are wisdom lies in knowing what you are who you are dealing with when negotiating.
that is 100% correct. Only a fool's errand would ever go into unknown. But let me offer you this. If we are just to get a glimpse of what she is capable of, would not also be a fool's errand to try to go against it?
And
If Ladon himself was willing to send just a group of people after an entire tribe, that is frightening alone. And Ladon's not the type of guy, from my knowledge and experience of him, to go around the bush with that kind of knowledge. He's not the type of guy who would just say it for a suicide mission or just for a tease per se. He is confident they will strike us down.
Yes, like what warriors must be under her command. Although, what warriors must be under her command, man? Although, something did occur to me. It
And
the
that was?
the gnolls rooted their way through that temple for some time, did they not?
They did. A pair of pack lords only got so far as the center chamber. They did not get down to where the artifact itself was being stored proper. They ran out of bodies before too long.
Yeah, so now we have it.
Well, there's that, but
it is worth noting.
How many how many treasures did they loot from that temple?
Hmm.
We don't really know because we did manage to get a few treasures ourselves.
They would have been on
They
their
didn't-
body, most likely.
It is worth noting that the Drow did not actually know what Ladon was after, which, well, we do.
Are you suggesting we use the treasures from the temple as a bargaining chip?
If we can get them, well. Oh, seems only logical. Pirates like treasure, do they not?
They do. But they also like jewelry and shiny things too. Do you not have a mineral outcrop over here?
So, well, outside of steel and iron, which we use to make our weapons, not much.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I was just trying to see what I can work with here.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Iron, because steel is not a naturally occurring mineral. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. But and also, all of you go ahead and roll intelligence. Just to like think back to see how good your memory is on the the looting. Heaven and Rudy as well.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my chart.
Right. Most of you had more important things to pay attention to at the time. Rudy, you dimly recall that you didn't really see any of the gnolls carrying any treasure, but as you passed through the temple itself, you saw quite a lot of alcoves, damaged hooks on the wall, places where stuff, maybe valuable stuff, used to be within the temple.
Okay.
You didn't see any of it on the gnolls themselves, though, although admittedly you did not see large parts of their camp.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is something that occurs to Rudy. The rest of you, you have no idea.
I'll tell the others.
So,
Who else would have been in there?
well, aside from
Wait
the
a
gnolls, like you have a thought, Eli?
Hold on the conversation for a minute, guys. She's gonna walk out the tent afterwards with a determined look and go to Bryceus.
And she is she's meditating in her spot as usual.
Bryceus.
And yes,
Do you know of any treasure that was taken from the temple during your time in it?
and I did, and well, there was quite a bit of, there was quite a bit of ancient ornate decoration in before the gnolls got their hands all over it. I believe Ladon ordered them to put them all in a big pile.
I see what you're getting at. Oh shit! Sorry, I'm not here. I'm not there. I'm not there. That was on reflex.
What?
I'm so sorry.
So that
What a
was in
strange
the
thing
camp.
to say, Talos.
So that's at the camp then, you think? Did you see the pile?
No, I only heard him give the order. I have no idea where he put it.
It was at camp then. That might be his bargaining chip too. Could be an issue. Or it could be his own hoard. Well, that's all I wanted to know, Bryceus. Thank you.
Of course. And as you turn away, I know you've been using those cards, Silo. For another couple of days, you wouldn't. They won't be a problem, but you really should try to diffuse them sooner rather than later.
We'll cross that boat when I get to it. Then the cards I need.
Yeah.
Hey, Heaven.
Hmm?
So, does your dream friend have anything to say about this?
Evan pages a check.
And I was wondering when you were going. I was wondering when you were going to call me. You should be congratulated. You all did quite well in that in there.
Evan just raised an eyebrow and says to Talos and Gregor, he wants to congratulate us for what we did back at the cave.
Talos just huffs.
Nope. Does Heaven need to relay the stuff, or does Shaq already know?
Well, he may ask you to clarify some details, but he has a general idea of what went on.
Yeah, Heaven does that.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this much: whoever these drow are there no Vienna followers. They crave magic power, not money.
The earnest followers crave magic?
Oh, above all else. And the damage it does is more than you can imagine.
Okay, so be on the lookout for power-hungry drow.
In general, yes. That's not really relevant to our current situation.
Just a mental note for later.
Yes. Yes. But there is one other thing you could offer them.
And that is?
Within the temple itself. You saw that entire room of crystal.
That? All that?
Would make it magical crystal. Magical crystal that size that produce unlimited holy water. It would make any criminal drool.
We barely got in and out. How would
But
we
now
even...
you know how to get in and out.
Heaven just... She rubs the bridge of her nose and looks to the others.
I am not saying you should do it. I am merely pointing out it is an option at your disposal.
I know. Anyway, Heaven looks to the others and says, Yeshek has an idea of what else we could pay the pirates. But it involves us going back into the temple and take some crystals that are filled with magic and offer them to her.
And that in of itself requires getting Pos laid on it and his null compatriots.
But is it worth? Is it worth getting getting the pirates' help?
Yeah.
Well, if their greed is if a pirate's greed is insatiable, as I have heard, then perhaps that alone will spur them on.
Yeah.
Also,
Gregor, go go ahead and roll religion real fast.
Religion. There it is. Oof.
Oof, indeed. Having you as well.
Okay.
Well, yeah. It also occurs to you that, like the crystals in that temple are beyond price, probably. Which means stealing them might well be a massive act of desecration. Just little factor to probably keep in mind.
Yeah, Heaven points this information out.
Oh, I guess you're right.
It would
So,
definitely go against the more moral of the group. He looks at
You
Gregor.
you, you can feel laid on. I mean, not laid on. Ishak rolling his eyes so hard when you say that.
Maybe
Well, at least it was worth considering as an option, at least.
Why not ask your god if it's okay?
I was gonna
Uh,
say ask the priestess, but I forgot her name. Dang it.
Briseus.
Gracias. Yeah. I keep thinking Borealis for some reason.
well,
Eh,
I guess
anyway.
I guess it would be we would need her permission
And
if anyone.
she's
And
gonna
as
say
Rudy-
no.
Otherwise maybe we should look into some other forms of magical items that don't require us getting our butts whooped by anything holy.
Well, maybe not the crystals, but maybe Briseus may know some other less heinous magical item to take.
Sela, you yourself. Sorry, go
It's
ahead.
magic crystals and a temple that's not even being used anymore.
That is true, and well, Leonin do not care much for the gods themselves, so it's entirely up to them. Well, it's entirely up to us, but you understand what I mean. I believe Rudy had.
I still feel like we should ask Briseus.
Well, she is our ally, but at this point, so she should have a say. But well, yeah, Talos tends to Ziorni. So at the end of the day, you are the one who needs to be the one negotiating, matron Ziora.
Look,
In,
we don't even. Sorry. We don't even need to get them out. We just need to tell the pirates where they are, how to get past the traps, and bam, they can deal with the whole sacrilegious aspect if you're really worried that much about your immortal souls.
Sure enough, and well, that's one of the things pirates love: booty and adventure.
Mention
Nothing
to
more
them
adventurous than
that you
plunder.
know the location of a source of magic that can create infinite holy water.
So we're basically giving them a really spicy treasure map. Is what you're
now,
No, we're telling them we have this on to offer, and they will either say, "All right, give us the location," or "All right, but you're retrieving it." We're making this a lot
Yeah,
more complicated than we need to.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
guys really just look. We just tell them what we have, we send it off, and that's that. Okay?
yeah, you're entirely right. We're spinning our wheels at this point.
Okay. So we'll write down that we know that there's that deep in there. And okay. That's that. Alright, I'm going to go grab a drink now.
See you in a bit, mate. But yeah, with that, Tella says, perhaps the Matron Zior, perhaps as Silo has mentioned, the promise of treasure alone may spur them forward.
Mm.
And not only that, but for more permanent arrangements, as she has also pointed out, we have many. Well, we can also produce livestock for them. They get to keep their gold, and we get to provide trade, and that we can continue to live.
Very well, very well. I will humor this at the very least. But I shall require that this matron come to us to do it.
Well, she does have a portal right to us.
I see. She was capable of dispatching her warriors so quickly that they are within spitting distance of her own pride, then it should not be too much of a bother for her to come here. If the prospect of, let's hope that the prospect of that alone is enough for her to brave the safety of her own little.
But though I would note that I think if Ladon were to see her out here negotiating with the Leonin, that might be a bit troublesome.
Well, as far as I know, as far as our knowledge, he has no way of spying on us outside of his own little knoll minions.
I would request the middle ground. Neutral territory.
Matron Zior, is it? Sorry, go ahead.
You do realize that where the negotiations happen will probably be on her to decide, right? And that she's probably going to say, we'll meet in the cave that has the teleportation circle, right?
Okay.
We've been talking about this for nearly an hour now. Let's just move along a bit.
Okay.
I'm not having a go at you, Neku. I'm just saying we have been talking about this for nearly an hour now.
All right. Well, tell us. Looks to Zior and he said as well. There it is, all laid out. I'm sure your word choice will suffice. Do you need? I'm sure you can handle it. I mean that respectfully, of course.
Stares at the paper, and then nods.
Right. Well, I say we leave her to write the message and we shall see what comes of it.
Okay, so Ziori he ducks back. He ducks back into her tent to write the message. And then a little bit later, a few minutes later, she takes some time to figure out how exactly to word it. She sends it off, and it flies off towards the east. no, the west, no, towards the cave. If and about 2 hours later, one returns and flies right into her tent, and you all see that happen.
In the intervening hours, I would say Talus has sat down with Rudy and actually is reading alongside her.
Yeah, like, yeah. What are you? Yeah, right. What are you all doing in those intervening hours?
Yeah.
Scylla would just be playing with the cards.
Rudy would be reading.
And Talus would be joining Rudy and reading it, asking for one of the books and just kind of reading alongside her.
Gregor would also join in with the reading.
Yeah,
Just get a book club going.
Yeah. Well, the reply flies right over the heads of this impromptu book club.
But it's a bit of a dry read, but it's actually kind of interesting. Thanks for recommending it, Rudy.
Sure.
What a brave warrior this tale describes.
In like, and Ziori actually pokes her head out of the tent. Talos, have a word.
Just with me?
I want to know. Just a bit of information I want to know. The Genasi and the human as well, if they please.
Right then. Talus gives Rudy back the book he borrowed and brings Heaven and Gregor along inside.
Gregor returns the book and thanks Rudy.
Rudy nods.
As you all sort of file in, she paces for a couple moments before asking, before just asking you. This Dinef that and that you spoke with. What was your impression of him in person?
My impression of him. Well, Gregor pointed this out to me, but when he noticed that I was a Leonin and he's identified me as a Firemane as well, Dineth seemed rather, well, initially he seemed rather scared, but after we started negotiating and speaking, he seemed a lot more candid and friendly. Granted, of course, we can trust that he has the interests of his own party in mind, but he seemed cordial, at the very least.
I'm sure.
He had a great deal of respect for his matron Kalena. He didn't seem to like the fact that we didn't really know her.
Not only that, but it was hit. But after we made mention that Ladon may have something on his matron, he was the one who brought up the idea that she always seemed frustrated whenever the name was brought up. So if anything, it seems he himself may value their own freedom away from such a terrifying influence.
I ask you this because he seems to have been the one who penned the response. And
So
and I have known this form of flattery before. It always hides poison.
So he's trying to butter you up, is he? Is that the correct term?
Very much so. Uh-oh. In only 25 words, in only 50 words, he managed to convey a lot of interest in the crystal.
Well, as Rudy was one to point out, it was, I'm sure, such a prospect would make any pirate turn their head. And if he is true to such a title, then the bounty itself may prove enticing.
So, do you believe he may be being deceitful? Then, you did seem to be a bit suspicious at his flattery.
In that is not the part that makes me most suspicious.
Right, so what is that?
According to him, she intends to meet me at the halfway point between in the river and the cave. If without any escort of her own, although I am apparently allowed to bring whoever I wish.
That bespeaks a very interesting sense of confidence.
Perhaps she is just trying to make sure that we don't think she is going to plan some sort of ambush by allowing us to bring reinforcements. But then,
it is potential. I disagree. Rudy says. It means she is strong. We should be wary. Or overconfident, but the same applies. I agree. I agree with Rudy. Either. You could also speak as to why Ladon only requested a handful of people. It's a message. I am strong enough alone.
Either way, she may still want to negotiate. Just that if we
go ahead.
Just that if we were to attempt to jump her, then we wouldn't be able to succeed even with reinforcements.
Well, the point is, this concerns you, yes, Matron Ziora?
Very much so. And well, Mm, she specifically asked to meet with those who went into. She specifically asked to meet with those who went into the temple and made this discovery.
So she wishes for the five of us to come along.
And so it would seem.
Well, regardless, I don't mean to sound overconfident, but you could not ask for better bodyguards than us.
Hmm. And
This is only assuming that she does decide to attack us, which personally I don't think is very likely, but just in case. Either way, we should get going.
Yeah, Rudy says, let's just prepare and go. I agree. Nothing. We're talking in circles again. Rudy is right. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's prepare and head off.
and well, she. Well, that's the other thing. She will be waiting for us at the halfway point tonight.
So it's setting. So tonight then. Very well.
Yes. So, then prepare. Meet me at the docks. So, in preparation for all this, what do you want? What do any of you want to do?
Could I change my prepared spells?
Yeah.
All right.
It'd be a good few hours. Yeah, it would be a good few hours. So
Yeah.
I would say anyone who can do prepared spells, they do have the chance to change them.
All right. I'm going to take back remove curse and attempt to remove the curse affecting CeeLo.
Okay. Hey. So, CeeLo, CeeLo, go ahead and make a. Okay, CeeLo, do you consent to it?
Well, I would normally, but with the curse affecting me, I do not.
Yeah.
Rudy, would you like some bardic inspiration?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So, CeeLo doesn't seem willing, so how do you intend to get it on her?
I am going to place a hand on her shoulder and cast it. Like, CeeLo hasn't seen remove curse before because Rudy's never used it.
And okay.
Evan was going to be like distraction committee and, talk about her Court of Immortals book with CeeLo while Rudy does the spell.
Sure. Whatever you want to do.
When you need to get an injection.
Okay. Heaven roll a general charisma check. CeeLo roll a general wisdom check. And CeeLo is sufficiently distracted for you to sneak up on her.
And just like that, the entire party turns against me and flip a coin.
You can't possibly be surprised. We did this before.
So, Rudy, you cast the spell?
Yeah.
Okay, so oh oh oh. So you cast you cast the spell. Uh, oh, and Silo, like Rudy, just casually walked up to you, put a hand on your shoulder. You didn't really notice it until she'd already done it. A rush of magic flows into you, and you can feel actually your head sort of clearing as the curse breaks. Just as quickly, do you do are the cards? By the way, are the cards still in the bag of holding?
No, they're on my person now.
Ooh.
I had to give the bag of holding back to Rudy.
Well, at that point, but when she does it, the the curse lifts briefly. Then you feel another assault as the cards immediately try to reassert control.
Okay,
so I need you to make a charisma saving throw, DC 15.
All right, let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
Because we had a short rest for Rudy to actually swap spell shots, I was going to mention this too. Can I roll divination real quick?
Yes, you may.
All right. Good thing I did that. And DC is 15?
DC is 15 in charisma saving throw.
Okay, I'll use that 9 then.
You too can do math, I see.
Yes.
So, Silo, all of a sudden, the fog in your head lifts as you realize that those cards were controlling you to an extent, and they're trying to now, but you're wise to them, and they cannot get in anymore. The attunement is broken, and the curse is lifted, and because you passed the saving throw against its attempt, you are now, and it cannot forcibly try to attune to you. It'll still curse you if you attune to it on purpose, but you can hold it safely now.
Okay. Scylla blinks a bit as her eyes, I'm assuming, goes back to normal now because she broke the attunement.
Yeah, your eyes are back to normal.
And she just sighs a bit and sets the cards down.
Let's go get these to Bryceus, eh?
Yeah, that might be the best bet.
Steely, you're back with us?
I was always here, Talos.
But those cards don't have sway over you anymore, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, like, CeeLo, if you're still holding them, you can feel them a bit. Like, there is something really mad inside those cards right now.
Oh, hey, it worked.
Talos just, his maw spreads into the biggest shit-eating grin you've ever seen him have, and he actually leaps towards you and picks you up, CeeLo, into this big hug.
Sheila holds the cards away as she's like spraying in the hug, and she's just gasping for air.
Oh, sorry, I'm just so glad you're okay.
Good to have you back.
Well, you got a job to do still, no? And I got a deck to return to.
Yeah, definitely.
So you go hand them over to Bryceus?
She sets them next to her. She's meditating, I'm assuming, and
like
walks
without
away.
even opening her eyes to look at you. Good, you took my advice. And she just picks them up and slips them into somewhere in her dress. You don't really see any pockets on that thing.
Sheila simply shrugs at that. I had to get a wake-up call. That's all it is.
The case for so many.
Can't say Emergent's intellect is also a foolish one sometimes, too.
Indeed. Now, with that done, Is there anything else anyone wants to do before the negotiations?
I would like to take another short rest.
Probably earned. I mean, just freaking disconnected from the cursed cards.
Yeah. Just to recharge that Fortin real quick.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Awesome. Okay.
Because that one was more from. I think you just woke up with that one. Oh, 13. That could be good.
Yep.
Really stupid question. When you have a short rest, your channel divinity is restored, yeah?
Channel divinity
Yes, it
is long rest, isn't it?
Channel divinity is short rest, I think.
Huh, that was long rest. Oh well.
Okay, Heaven's got to go. Well, there was a note I wanted to leave off on tonight, but we can start with it just as easily next week. So I think we're going to call that session for today.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.